Hey everybody, as you can see the big truck has made it up into the cabinet. I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, and I ended up moving the die-cast woody wagon I had up there out of there and put it in there, and I just set that boat on the back of it. Actually kind of matches it, but so that's there for now. Pretty much done with that, and just moving on to the next thing here. So let me get the camera in the mount here. Get over here with you guys. All right, so today, April 1st, happy April Fool's Day. I didn't play any April Fool's jokes on anybody today, including my wife. So, of course, I screw with her every day, so I'm trying to aggravate her. So, also the first day of the Glory Days group build. So I dove into this. Kind of excited about this. This is the where are we? See if I can keep dumping everything. Streaker, funny car. And this is a funny car, but not in the newer sense of the word, because it's not it's not a flopper like we're all used to. This is old school funny car, and I've got some of this kind of mocked up with tape and some of this glued together. So these were, back in the day, these were steel-bodied cars with bumpers and stuff. I mean, all metal, and not always all fiberglass, or maybe some fiberglass components, but these were early days. And you had just a modified chassis that would fit up in there. Of course, this is altered wheelbase, which I really like. I don't know what it is with this. I like the look of this thing. It's just cool because it's got the, like the tonneau type cover over it and the cowl. I mean, it's kind of has that reminiscent of the Fireball 500 car. I always like the look of that thing, the Cuda from that movie. But yeah, it's just kind of neat. So it's falling apart because I've got everything stuck together with tape and some glue. It's just kind of mocked together. So question, I haven't done a question to everybody yet, so I thought I would do a question to the multitudes, being, what do you guys do with seams? Do you scrape all your seams, or do you leave the seams, or do you do some of the seams, or how do you handle it with all the parting lines that are on all of these from being molded, where the two-piece molds are? You have a fine seam on lots and lots of parts. So me personally, I've been a seam sander for probably the last 25 or 30 years. I don't know. They drive me crazy, especially like on the bottoms of transmissions and engine blocks and visible seams. So I always, I usually start out with a rough file if I have to, depending on how bad it is, and hit it as much as I can, and get it where everything kind of lines up, and then I'll go in with multiple grades of sandpaper, usually 220 and then 320, and then work that seam down, and just kind of, you can get in there with some fine sandpaper. It's thundering again, right, freaking my dog out. But I'll get in there and just get that just as smooth as I can, and hopefully once I get to, usually after I hit it with primer, I'll look at it again and see if there's anything really visible, through the primer, or if there is. A lot of times I'll take a little spot putty and get it in there. I've been using, let's see, find it here. I found this perfect plastic putty. I got this through Hobby Link. That's a company in Georgia, not the Japanese Hobby Link, but Hobby Link in Georgia, and this is pretty good stuff. And it works, sands good. It doesn't shrink a whole lot. I had used the Tamiya putty before, but it's so plasticky. When it hardens, it's really good stuff for bad seams, but I think it's probably harder to sand. But I've had good luck with this, and I usually, if I have a really big gap, I'm going to hit it pretty hard with CA. I use the Zap-A-Gap for big seams and fill in, just really terrible fitting things. I'll use Zap-A-Gap, and I use the Instaset kicker, to make that fire quick. I don't have any patience either, so I want things done quick. So that's why I'm a big proponent of CA. I started using CA back when I was building radio controlled airplanes years ago when I was in my 20s. And I mean, I was just always amazed how it would literally fuse balsa wood together when I was gluing spars with that. But that's when I first got turned on to it, and the kicker. And I've used it on my models all those years too. It's not good with everything. You got to watch it with some older plastics, older kits especially. It'll annihilate the plastics. Some of those were just softer, and especially black plastic seems to be affected more by it. So you got to kind of be careful with what you're doing. But I quit using just like Tester's tube glue and stuff. And of course, I think I told you guys I use this quite a bit too, the B6000 glue. This is good stuff. I've used this a lot with a lot of these big 3D printed builds, the big pieces I've been working on. It works really, really well. And for my big heavy resin stuff, I glue them with this stuff, this Permatex Ultra Black. This is number 82180. This does not have methyl ketones in it. You can get this at most auto parts stores like Advance and some of those other ones. It's really good stuff. So anyway, yeah, seams. Do you guys do you knock off your seams? So I started. I've been mocking this up and gluing it together, but I spend a lot of time on all of my builds, scraping and sanding the seams. And usually, what I'll do is start out with just kind of half dull X-Acto blade. I'm determined to just throw this dashboard on the floor. I'll use like a half dulled X-Acto blade and just, I'm just basically, I'll find that seam and just, I'm doing that, and you're getting this little fine threaded crap off of there, which is all over my floor and stuff here, usually by the bench or wherever. And I'm going to scrape that down, that seam, as much as I can, and then go back with usually the 320 and just do a light, over the whole thing. And that's usually, I mean, I've got finer stuff, but usually that works out good. And gives it a little bit of a bite for the primer, because I primer everything. And on the bodies like this, usually these lines, all your mold lines on your bodies they're sharp. You don't have a nice round edge to them. So I generally will take that 320 and I'm going to go over pretty much every edge all the way around the entire perimeter of this body, top and bottom. These hard lines on top of the fenders, I'm going to knock those down, usually just lightly sand that, and it doesn't leave a bunch of scratches. It's so fine. So I'll go in and do that all around those and just take that hard edge off of there where you've got just more of a soft feel to the body and smooth. So I glued this up earlier, and it's not too bad of a fit. The hood's got some gaps in there. It's just taped on there right now, but some uneven gaps, which I wasn't real happy about, along this left parting line on the body here. It's got a little bit of hang on just a minute, Deb. It's got a little bit of an uneven gap in there, which I wasn't real, but not a whole lot to do about that. Of course, the paint will fill some of it once I get quite a bit of paint on there. So, and I'm thinking about paint. I'm kind of excited to paint this. I got some ideas rolling around in my head. So this is really my main build for the Glory Days group build, but I'm also going to do the Dino Don car, which is going to go on the F100 hauler. So that's coming up. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Oh, and I wanted to say a special hi. I got Snoopy over here on the desk, and he used to say hi to Arnold and Melissa Smith, some of my followers, which always super nice to me. I appreciate it. They send me really nice cards, and one of the two of them does some really beautiful calligraphy work, which I'm a big fan of. I really enjoyed doing that when I was in college. I haven't done that in years, but it's really an art. I have a friend who does that professionally for wedding invitations and stuff. It's really neat, and he does it with the old traditional quills, which is cool. So yeah, so that's it. And there's one of my they're big Peanuts fans like I am. So here's an oldie. Here's an old Welch's Snoopy juice glass. My wife picked me up a couple of those. I got one of them up in there with one of my models sitting on the other one with Lucy pulling a football out from under Charlie Brown. But these were great. I love stuff like this from back in the day. And just she picked these up at one of the places that she frequents for junk stuff. Good stuff, according to her. Other than that, so that's where I'm at on this build right now. Just sanding, fitting, scraping the seams. But what do you guys do? Do you take the seams off, or do you just say the heck with it? Do you leave them? Is it not important? And I know if somebody picked up one of my models, an average person, they don't know that I've sanded or spent 3 hours sanding all the seams off of this thing. They don't know that at all. The average person wouldn't pay any attention. Another model builder like you guys probably would, and say, oh look, the seams are all done. But I don't know, maybe it's stupid, but I just always like everything smooth, and I don't like all those seams on there. So that's just me. Getting ready to paint this up for a buddy of mine. This is a Van Chase shift knob. It's in raw resin right now, but I got this from Josh at Van Chase Studios, and my buddy Pat, I'm doing it for his hot rod. Gonna be painting it up in candy tangerine and silver for him. So, and I'll tell you, Josh, him and his guys, they do some really good work, because there's literally just no cleanup work on these when they come out of the mold. There's no heavy seams or anything, so it's nice working on their stuff. So I appreciate their work. And we've gotten several pieces from Josh, some big pieces. Check out the Van Chase Studio site. There's some neat stuff on there. Big resin 32 Ford, which is awesome. Builds up great. It's one big ass piece of resin, but beautiful, well worth the money. I've also got one of the really nasty looking, shift your hands. It's an arm that's been ripped off, so all the bone and guts is hanging out of the end of it. It's not a big shift knob. It's big. It's about this big. I may have shown you guys that. It's a cool piece, so I've got that. They do that one too, so it's got some neat stuff, and they've got a multitude of really cool shifters that you can buy already painted, so you don't have to do any of this yourself. I buy them raw from him, but they pre-paint him, and there's a whole group of guys there, and they do some really killer work, really nice stuff, and the prices are good too. They're not high at all for the amount of work that they've got in them, so check them out. Good stuff. And so that's where I'm at today. So getting off and running on this build, and I've got the Dyno Don kit down at my office. Of course, didn't even get to look at it today because I took off yesterday to have the PET scan done, and I got my ass handed to me today at work. Just nonstop from the time I opened the door until the time I got ready to leave, and dealing with today was bill paying day as well as tomorrow, and my mom's phone was out all day, so I was trying to take care of that with the local cable company. It was just that one of those days today. So, and I'm tired, so hopefully I'll sleep tonight. It's rumbling. Hopefully get some rain again tonight. I think it's already raining, and that always makes me sleep well. Upstairs here is nice. You can hear it on. We have a metal roof, so you can hear the rain, and to me, it puts me to sleep. It makes me nice and peaceful. So anyway, all right. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'll keep you posted on this. I'm excited to start painting on this thing and getting it together. I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do on this build anyway, and kind of got an idea of what I'm going to do on the Dyno Don car. It's not going to be the Dyno Don car when I'm done with it, but it's a cool altered wheelbase kit too. So, and I got a lot of nice aftermarket parts for that one. So this one I'm pretty much going to build, I think, just right out of the box. So this came with some nice pad printed tires. These are really nice slicks. So I like those. The Race Masters. And it came with a couple choices of glass. We've got either red or clear on the cowl glass. I guess that's yeah, some tail lights in there. So yeah, that's, and it came with this comes with a really nice decal sheet too. So lots of choices. Anyway, all right. So that's that. I'll touch base with you. Let's see what's tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm off this week. I'm screwed up because I've taken off yesterday. So what do we got? What did you buy Wednesday? Right. That's one of them, and I don't know, I haven't bought anything else. That's pretty much it, so I probably won't do that. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple days when I make some progress on this. Thanks for coming by.